Greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in to Rap Sessions with Dr. Kiki. This is your host. Thank you so much. You may be listening to Quantum Talks 8.0 on YouTube or wherever you have found this broadcast, but thank you so much for listening and sharing. I want to sincerely thank all those who've taken a moment out of their busy days to grab a copy of our latest music ministry project. It's called Unfiltered Soul. And I've been blessed to finish the project and to work with some amazing, amazing people all along the way. Oh, I'm grateful. And I want to tell you, if you don't have a physical copy, we can certainly get one in your hands. We have began a radio campaign. We have actually done more with our marketing as well, so that you should start seeing Unfiltered Soul more. It is available on digital platforms. It's definitely available on YouTube, or if you want to download it, Spotify, all those major platforms, okay? So get a copy. I'm so thankful for being able to have creative influence on my own music. You do learn along the way that certain things are for you and certain things are not for you. So I'm grateful to be able to say we have CDs available, okay? Very, very long process. As a songwriter, many don't know, but I'm finding out when I'm in business meetings, people are saying, "Oh my God, your music, I need to hear you sing," blah, blah, blah. And I'm so thankful for that. But sometimes, depending upon the arena that we find ourselves in, people have already done their research and they've already started looking and assessing. And so I thank those who have been blessed by the music and who have shared. While I was writing several of these songs, even the songs prior to this project, I could really and truly feel God in that songwriting process. And it just means so much to be able to work with others who can be as dedicated to the success of the project, to the completion of the project, as I was. And I still am very excited. And one thing about it, I'm going to just say this. No matter what, who, what, when, where, or why tries to stop what God has preordained and predestined and has already declared it so, doesn't matter who tries to fight against that. It has to happen. And there were several bumps in the road. There was pauses in the whole process. And in my professional opinion, I think a lot of it was unnecessary, meant and sent to distract and to basically put this project on hold, and also to put me on hold. But what I will say is, when our Heavenly Father declared that no weapon formed against us shall be able to prosper, that is something truly you can take to the bank. Nothing will stand in the way of what God has for you. Nothing. And I'm in the process of working on another project, but I will say the title here, Unfiltered Soul, is designed because, and I feel like God gave me this title for it, because people want to put you in a box and categorize you so that you're more digestible for them and their cause. And I've seen it happen where several people want to work. Oh my God, we can do some things. Oh, this, that, and the other. And it sounds very promising and very convincing. And as you get towards the details and all of the love bombing stops, then you're able to really discern what people's true intentions are. So I have had people stab me in the back and say some very awful things regarding holding me up, pushing me to the back, stopping me in my tracks. And they still don't know to this day that I know. And I will still say to this day, God had a different plan. So Unfiltered Soul, to me, is where there's not a filter over the gift that God has given me. I understand it's about money and it's about rank and it's about this, that, and the other. But to me, it truly is about the whole armor of God and letting His name be glorified. I'm not interested in all the fame and the fortune and the negative side that I have seen from a distance. I want to truly, truly, truly share the gift that God gave me, because, hey, I don't know why God gave me the ability to write songs, different genres, but I really, really believe He gave it to me because it needed to be shared. And this project is inspirational, but you're going to hear different flavors. You're going to hear country. You're going to hear a little bit of just, Caribbean feel. You're going to feel a little bit of R&B. You're going to feel some real gospel. And I even added one of my own favorite songs. It's a pop song I did a couple years ago. Let the Words in My Mouth. We did that. Total different studio, total different producer. I love that song. So that is included. I also have included Be the Change. That's one of my favorites as well. And it has a little more of a, just not pop, but Caribbean type of style too. So if you don't have this CD yet, let us know. We will ship it to you. We have events coming up where we can make sure we place it in your hand. I can make sure it's signed. But I'm so grateful. And I want to thank God for my team. And you know who you are. You were involved until the very end, till this project came out. So I want to say thank you, and may God continue to reign supreme and to honor His word and blessing you. Thank you so much. Now, this particular project really, really opened my eyes. And over the course of time, I will be able to share in detail my version of things. But you can kind of take a gander from the title and from the, I don't want to say artwork, but just take a deep look at what's happening in the photos, okay? And those images there are filtered. They're blurry, they're muted. You can't really tell what they are. But then there's a change where it's visible, it's more profound. And to me, it was important to bring that concept, that fact up and out. Because sometimes, and so I'm going to pause on conversating about this Unfiltered Soul. Get this project, download it on YouTube, all your digital outlets, it's there. Thank you, and God bless you in advance. I will say, and not to glorify people and what they try and all that, but I think it's imperative to share how others will seek to discredit who you are, whose you are, what you're standing for, in an effort maybe to make themselves seem more grand, or, you know, as a stepping stone. I don't know, but I've seen it, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Folks will lack proof, lack evidence, but will rally around some kind of negative ism or schism as a way to encourage others to do the same. And not necessarily with music, everything. I've been observing. I've been observing, and it's really, really sad how if someone has an issue with one person, or doesn't like someone, or whatever, feels threatened by him, just who knows what it is. It could be for no reason at all. Then the goal is to get as many followers and people on their team who feel the same. And it's unfortunate because some people have never had a chance to get to know someone outside of all the negative things someone else has said, and someone else's intentions, and someone else's issues. It's a shame, and I've seen it happen. You know, we've been blessed to do ministry everywhere and do shows and show up to support others, or even be on a platform, and it's a shame. So there's so much shaming going on, where people are really and truly at the core level, they're not happy with themselves. They don't like themselves. So how can they love, like, support you, and they don't like themselves? It's and then the whole process of comparison, and just the main person that we should be learning from is a lot of times the main person we're trying to destroy. And I've seen it, and I don't like it. So what am I going to do about it? I plan to be the change. Um, please don't take this the wrong way, but 9 times out of 10, people have a lot of growing up to do. A lot of growing up to do. So, and they will mute you. They will filter you. They will pretend that they don't see you. They don't hear you, that they're not following you. They will get together and, declare, oh, no, we're not supporting this. We're not supporting that. And at the end of the day, sometimes they're hurting themselves. And the completion of this project is a huge example of that. And I know I said I'm going to stop talking about it, but let me say, when we did our album release party, I remember, and I'm so grateful for everybody who showed up. Thank you so much. I remember getting so many RSVPs and well wishes, and whether people could mean the world and be there or mean the world and know they wasn't coming in the first place. It was all good. It was about us completing what we started. So I want to speak very candidly. A professional doesn't take 2 years to complete an album, unless there are some other extenuating circumstances. Okay? No. So we are set up and assisting others to bring their projects from a muted, undiscovered, unreleased process all the way to completion. So let us know how we can help. Definitely, I'm working to make sure we're helping people, but helping them the right way. So tonight, I wanted to share from the topic of greatness. Greatness. Greatness is within all of us. And it matters not what plots and plans the enemy have set up to destroy and distract that greatness. You are still great. So it's not really important of, we call them haters, what the haters are doing. What are you doing regardless towards your success? Even if people have formed an allegiance to try to hurt, block, not help, compete, on against you. What are you doing towards your own success is the question. We have to take ownership of what we are doing every step of the way. And the greatness that is in us and upon us is handcrafted for us. So why are we not embracing our own individual greatness? Why are we stuck on what they did and what they said? Why are we trying to be like someone else? There's more and more research that is being uncovered, and in several areas, but regarding hair. And it's a huge industry, $1 billion industry plus, probably not going anywhere anytime soon. But there has been an awakening. There's been an awakening of what we're putting on our crowns, what we are wearing on our heads. Is it filth? Is it premium luxury? Has it been somehow sacrificed or cursed with something? I mean, I won't sit here and pretend that there have been times when I've worn extensions and I could literally feel something else going on. Just like, I don't know. They say it's a new attitude. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. But why are we not embracing our own? Why are we not embracing our own? You can grow your own hair. You can grow your own crown. I kind of lost track of the length of my own hair, and people still don't believe me when I say my hair is my hair, but it is, and I'm very grateful. But I am also interested in showing others how you too can grow your own hair. What is the process? Okay, what does it entail? What does it take? What is it involved? Growing your own hair. Why even bother? Why are we spending billions of dollars to corporations, businesses, entities who don't know us, don't like us? Okay? And come to your environment because you're the biggest consumer. And then you buy. You too can grow your own hair. So we are working on some things, and I hope that it can bless someone. Because what's happening is people are turning to any of our social media networks, and they sometimes are competing against, in their minds, it's AI generated. Okay? It's something that truly does not exist. But yet and still, the world has somehow convinced us that this is the standard or that is the standard. And because you don't have this, that, and the other, or you're not doing this, that, and the other, it must be something wrong with you. And you have all of society being driven by our thoughts of what we've convinced ourselves we should be. Okay? People will tell you all the stuff that you should have. Like this is all of my hair. Don't know if you're able to see it. Scoot it back a little bit. And I'm not doing this to boast or brag, but I want you to know you can grow your own hair. You can grow your own hair. Now, there's also this thing going on of people not wanting to look their age. Okay. So you want to be here, you celebrate your birthdays, and you say you want all the years and thank the Lord for another year. And in order to keep getting birthdays means you have to keep aging. But you don't want to look your age. I just don't understand. Who your spirit truly is what shows out on the outside. Okay? We have to drink more water, eat right, exercise, live right. And all those things help us to have the right spirit about us. So people are, and I'm not judging, but I am bringing to light a concern that people want to dye their hair, get facelifts. Let's not even talk about the BBLs and these things that are literally killing people. Literally. And we don't want to look. I talk to people all the time. I don't want to look old. I don't want to look old. Okay, so but do you think by dyeing your hair temporarily, you don't look old? You look old in your face, in your hands, in your neck, in your conversation. And it's not a negative thing. It becomes a negative thing when that's all you're concerned with. Why are we being imposters in our own lives? You're pretending to be someone who has this and that and the other type of hair, or this and that and the other type of bottom, or this, that, and the other. Okay, and I'm not even going to talk about makeup, because makeup is the same thing. I have embraced makeup and have been a representative for one of the major makeup chains. I love doing makeup, but makeup should be an enhancement. Makeup shouldn't make you look like an entire separate person. Like, it shouldn't be some kind of big shocking surprise as to who you are when you're made up. It's supposed to enhance your natural beauty. And the thing about it is, they may never say anything to you, but these kids are watching and listening to and emulating and drawing conclusions from everything we're doing. Why are we handing our little children Barbie dolls and toys that don't even look like them? But you're telling them you gotta love yourself. They don't see you practicing self-love. Talking about greatness. So I can't pretend that I wasn't dyeing my hair and carrying on. But you know, when you do the research and you find out how many chemicals it takes to bleach your hair and dye your hair, and it's not just the hair shaft, how it goes down to your brain, and how it's proven, it is a fact that if they find a person deceased and they don't know who it is or what gender or whatever the case is, in their research, the first thing they do is split the hair line and the scalp line to see the brain to determine the race. And if that brain is green or any simulation of green, they'll know that it's a person of color because research based, we are always coloring our hair. And the impact that coloring does, because other races color their hair. But why are we hiding? Why are we so easy to get caught up on the next trend that we don't care? And I've talked to so many people who know someone who has gotten a tummy tuck or BBL or breast augmentation and never left the operating table alive. So it's so important. It is so important that we stop living out of the eyes of another. And we start embracing what our Creator gifted us with. And again, this is in no way trying to make someone else feel bad for their personal choices, but I am seeing how decisions are being made, and that's not your personal choice. You're following someone else. You're keeping up with the trend. You've not done your research on all the implications of that decision. And all the pills you got to take per procedure. And all the potions and appointments. They don't tell you all of that. I'm talking about greatness. And it truly starts from within. Because how do we live a life of abundance, of peace, of total acceptance of life when we don't accept, appreciate, love, or like self? And sometimes when you talk about self-care and, take care of yourself, people think, oh, you're just so selfish. Well, who's knocking on your door saying, make sure you do something for self-care today? I haven't seen or heard of it. Okay? Unless you have a self-care coach or you're involved that kind of way. So yes, be the best you that you can be for you. Don't do it for others. And I've seen it time and time again where people are literally unhappy and nothing can change it because they're living in this hamster cycle, okay, going round and round and round of trying to keep up, trying to be this, trying to be that. Take what you effortlessly have and work that to the max. Be you. at the end of the day, greatness is placed on hold because we got our own personal issues we've not worked out. So how can we help the next person? It leads to some of that filtering and muting of others. When people are not happy with themselves, it's easier to lash out and point blame at someone else than it is to look and do an introspective search on self. And what can I do to change? And what can I do to make things better? And, you know, I can't say it enough. If you are working on you, you don't have time to hate someone else. You don't have time to tear someone else down. You don't have time to surmise and just be on this all out thing to, you know, question everything they're doing. What are you doing for you? When you're pouring into yourself and you're reaching your goals that you've set for you, and everyone's doing the same thing, then it's a little more difficult to say something negative or disheartening about your friends or others or associates or colleagues. Greatness. When you are called to do something, and I feel with everything in me, when you're called to do something, you have to be convinced of that calling. Because if you're depending upon somebody said you need to do this, and then they said you need to do, but you need to do this, oh, you know, and it's not from within, it's not going to work. But if you're putting that time and that effort and that energy into loving yourself, learning yourself, when is the last time you quieted the noise of the world and your environment and searched to find what you like, what you dislike, what are your triggers, when is the last time you respected you? This is so important because, and I love our faith-based communities. Lord, I don't want this taken out of context, but it needs to be said. We are so into tearing our brother and sister down and pointing out their flaws and, oh, well, you know that we forgot that you ain't nothing but flesh too. Like, but by the grace of God, there go I. We forget about all of that. Like, and our places of worship, in a sense, have been compromised. You go, it's about who gives the biggest offering. Who's wearing the biggest hat on Easter, Mother's Day, and Christmas? Whose name is gonna be magnified because, wow, they did X, Y, and Z over our goal? Or who is the clique not accepting this week? Or what's the latest gossip? That when people come and they realize there's something more that they need, they can't get it because God ain't in that environment. I'm sorry. I don't care who preaching. I don't care what they're preaching about. I don't care how many songs we sing and we begging people to get up and clap and all get. If the presence of God is not there, needs are not being met. We have to do more building. It's so much happening that people are literally looking for and searching for and crying out to their creator for help, direction, which way to go. And when they finally decide to hear something from supposedly a child of God, it's nothing. It's worse than what's in the world. Okay? So I remember, like, even as a kid, you can talk to and ask my parents. I've always written poems. I've always been this person that God has dealt with since I was a tot. And I remember I kept thinking, well, why is God giving me, these kind of different songs? I struggled within myself. I struggled with the gift that God gave me. But that struggle didn't stop the songs from coming and the opportunities from coming. And I know God has so much more planned for my journey. But I'm so thankful that I had a support system that said you better not dare try to give up. Hear it and don't hear it. Move on. Don't worry about it. Pray. Keep going. I'm so thankful for that, because gifts come from God. And we are so into trying to, again, box people into this area that at the same time, the gifts can't function. And for the longest, I know God has been dealing with me on something. I know it. I didn't have all the details. I didn't quite understand what he was sharing with me. But I knew that there was something greater that he was demanding from me. So those who know that I'm a praying person. Praying. And through the gifts that God has bestowed upon me, I'm not suggesting I'm so gifted and, no, none of that. But the way God deals with me and him got this thing going on, and we stuck like Chuck. This is me and the Lord. So with all of that, and praying and fasting and interceding and through the gifts of healing and miracles and the gifts of deliverance and things that God has worked with me on. I can't talk about somebody else. I can only talk about me. Many times I would know, based on the way people would pull me to the side, crying and can barely gather themselves and telling me certain things. I knew that while it might not be a huge recognition, I knew God was working. But I also knew that wasn't all God was doing. I'm still talking about greatness. When God tells us to despise not humble beginnings, it's true. You don't know where God is taking you and what he's doing with you in the meantime through that process. You have no idea. There's a scripture that says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the things that God has prepared for us. It's true. I guarantee you, if you stop trying to use the world and worldly things as your barometer or gauge or measuring stick, and line up with truly what God, his will for your life. And I know we hear that all the time, but have a real conversation with God, like for real. And listen. Don't be in there talking about, oh, and I need this, and Lord, don't forget me. And wait. Whoa. When is the last time we just listened? Listen. He's speaking. And there's a total unveiling happening within our churches. I was saying it from day one when God blessed us to be able to start Karki Global Ministry. I've been saying it for at least the last year and a half, 2 years. Judgment starts at the house of God. Judgment starts at the house of God. And there is a total unveiling of the scripture. God said, if you don't change, if you don't do right, I'm going to put it on the housetop. And in this time, we've got to do our own soul searching and making sure we're lining up to God's will and his word and being the best human we can. But within that process, there's greatness. If God is in you, he declares, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So why are we using the world's standards as our go-to? I've seen several people being interviewed, and they're asking about some of the alterations women in particular are getting done. These things are not free most times, okay? They're costing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Lots of downtime, lots of changes, and sometimes complications. But I remember hearing several people being interviewed, and most times, people who like women don't like all the alterations and things of that nature. Now, you do what you want to do. But if you're really doing it for yourself because you want to, then you're never going to be in this, oh, but I just don't want to look, oh, I just don't want to be. When you are truly confident in what God gave you and who you are, a lot of that self-doubt and self-hate goes away. So now I'm seeing more of our younger babies, with these alterations going on. It's, what are we teaching them? And yes, kids should be made to feel as beautiful and as handsome as possible. But I think we're setting a dangerous precedent when we are putting wigs and weaves and false fingernails and getting them stuff to stuff their bodies as if they have grown-up bodies. No. We're setting them up for a trip and a problem. And again, it's sending the wrong signals. And I mean, there's so much I can say. I won't say it all today. But greatness is within you. And you've got to embrace it for yourself. And I remember when I first started my lock journey, I got so much negative feedback. Like, what are you doing? Oh my God. Ugh, I don't like that. Ugh, I don't like that. I mean, if it was something to be said negatively, it was said. And I can't say it didn't hurt or I didn't hear it, because it did and it hurt. But I can say that at the time, I kept going and buying braids, for people to talk over me in their own language, talking about me most times, I'm sure. Spending $200 and $300 every 6 to 8 weeks. Like, who does that? And I decided I'm going to just try to grow my own locks. And it's been a journey. And again, greatness comes from you taking that next step. So your hair is your crown. You can embrace everything that you're supposed to have. By the time we use all these potions and chemicals, now something else is popping up wrong. Okay? I want to encourage all women to make sure you have at least one mammogram. I know it's not the best. It's not the best process. I get it. But you want to be checking and being aware so you can be preventive. Men, you need to get your prostate exams. Women, you need to get your OBGYN exams. We spend absorbent amounts of money on superficial stuff. Like, it's superficial versus true health. And I'm so grateful to be a part of a health company that specializes in assisting holistically things that we're dealing with as humans. So you'll start to see more of that information. Take a look at it. As you see it, feel free to share it. But as much as I love, I love beautiful things. I love beauty in its natural form. I love nice things. I love elegant things. None of that matters if we don't have good health. Good health. Why are you wasting time going to the doctor if you ain't going to listen to nothing they say? You're not taking the advice. You're not doing nothing they say, dude. Why are you going to get the pills and stuff from the pharmacy if you're not going to take them? That don't mean you have to be on them forever. Take them and do what's right so that you can lessen the likelihood of needing it. But if you need it, and that means you live a higher quality of life, take it. So I'm excited, and I really am considering it a blessing, because at a point, some of this fly-by-night stuff is not lasting. People need to know, the importance of water. How is it you don't drink no water all week in and week out? But you want your hair and nails to grow. You're worrying about, you constipated. You ain't went to the bathroom in 2 months. We got to get it together. And I love social media. I love the things that technology affords us, but you got to be careful in getting caught up in it, where now you're being compared and you're comparing yourself to stuff that might not even be the same. You don't have the same chemical or chemistry or DNA. You don't have the same makeup. Or you're comparing yourself to something that's computer generated. Let's be real. So greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And if we have God in us, then we have the ability to attain greater. Greatness is within you. Please do like, share, follow on any number of our social media pages. and know that you are blessed, you are loved, you are fabulous just the way you are. I say it all the time. We all have separate fingerprints because you were handcrafted by the best, and he doesn't make mistakes. So go be great and know that God will help you every step of the way. Again, I'm Dr. Kiki Singletary Williams, and it's always a pleasure. Be blessed. Stay safe.